Hey, what's up? My name is Ange. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to be going over all of my favorite book series. I am a big series girl. I personally love the continuous timeline and being able to follow characters throughout multiple books, whether you get little crumbs of that same couple in different books, like for instance the Twisted series or the Off-Campus series and things like that, where you're still seeing the couples that you had read about previously but they're not the main focus of the story, or continuous timeline books such as Shattered Me, The Inheritance Games, and things like that, which are some of my absolute favorites. So in this video, we're going to just briefly go over all of my favorite series. So all the series that I've read are not on this list, so don't take this list as, oh, these are the only series that she's read, try this one out. Because I didn't include everything, I just wanted to include my favorites. When I sat down and was like, what book series do I love? These are the ones that came up, so let's talk about them. I don't think that I'd ever be able to put any of these book series into an order on like a ranking kind of scale, because I just love every single one of them. So let's start off, again, in no particular order whatsoever, with the Addicted Calloway Sister series by Krista and Becca Ritchie. Now, I don't have the physical book right here because I am not messing up this thing right here, but this is my KB Ritchie shelf right here. Here are all the original copies of the books that I had, and then I went ahead and got the newest editions of each book, especially as they were coming out. So those are all here, as well as, because of the way that it kind of worked, we have Bad Reputation Duet. I do count that in the Addicted Calloway Sister series. I believe it's counted as, but it's not on some people's list, so for me it is counted. And then I have Some Kind of Perfect and Long Way Down here, but these ones are the original copies, so they're kind of just flipped for convenience sake. So for those of you who don't know what the Addicted Calloway Sister series is, it's actually two series intertwined, and it's the Addicted series, which follows Lily and Lo. I believe all of their books are just them. And then the Calloway Sister series, which follows Daisy and Rose. There are two other Calloway sisters, so the entire series follows the Calloway sisters, which is Lily, Rose, and Daisy. And then they have an older sister, Poppy, who we don't really see much of. She's like in the books, but she doesn't have her own books. It's all interconnected, like continuous timeline books over a course of many years, and many things happen in their life. I believe I've seen people call it more of like a character study. So we're just seeing their life. It's not that there's not a plot, because there's always things going on, but it's like there's no beginning and end, if that makes any sense, at least not to me. So it's just following their lives and watching them grow up and meet their significant others and get with their significant others and start to grow their families and grow as people. And it is amazing series. I believe I read this, was it 2023? I think that I read this series, and I absolutely fell in love. If you know anything about me, you know that I am a Rose and Connor stan. I love them. They honestly have to be my favorite couple out of all of them. I don't know what it is about those two, but I absolutely love them. These characters go through a lot, and it covers a lot of topics that are difficult for a lot of people, but I don't know what it was about this book series, but it just felt so real. Like, I really felt like I was reading about real people. And I think that this was the first book series that had me actually looking up like fan art and looking up who people thought these characters like should be cast as and things like that, like going the extra mile to like research about these characters, like without spoiling anything, like researching things within the book series, like to get like merch on it and stuff like that. Very long series, but to me, I think I flew through them. I haven't read them in a really long time. I do want to reread them. I am gonna talk about this at the end of the video, but I am reading the Like Us series, so we'll get into why that relates to KB Ritchie's Addicted Calloway Sister series. Please give it a shot if you haven't already. If you have read it, please let me know what you think. Tell me what your favorite couple is, because I will die on the Rose and Connor hill. Like, amazing. Love them. The next series that I want to talk about was a series written by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and if you don't know me, again, I am a huge Jennifer Lynn Barnes fan. Absolutely love her. Read basically everything that she has out. So it's the Naturals series, which includes, this isn't in the correct order because the way it is on my bookshelf is this way. So it's the Naturals, Killer Instinct, All In, Bad Blood, and then there is a little novella at the very end called 12. So this is about a group of teenagers who have natural abilities to help them solve crimes. So basically the FBI kind of brought them in to help solve cold cases, and each one of them has an ability that can help them get further within a cold case that normal people can't see. I'll tell you the Naturals abilities. We have profiling, reading emotions, detecting deception, and statistics. It mostly follows Cassie Hobbs and like her introduction into it, because the other people that are in there have already been like recruited and they're there for different reasons, and you get really into their story. So each one kind of has like their own book, but you follow the same continuous group of people. If you love Criminal Minds, like, it was amazing. I personally am a Criminal Minds lover, so this was a really awesome book series for that. Like, it definitely gave you that, like, it's YA, but it also has that, like, that Criminal Minds aspect like I was talking about. Like, it's got the best of both worlds, and it's really, really good. I flew through these. The Naturals was actually a book club read a couple of years ago. I'm trying to like remember when it was. Was it 2023? I think it was 2023 that we read The Naturals, and then I immediately picked up the other books and flew through them. They were amazing. So the next book series is also by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and that is The Inheritance Games. This series follows Avery Grams, who has a plan for her future, like gonna go to college, do all those things, and then in an instant her entire life changes when a billionaire, Tobias Hawthorne, leaves his entire fortune to her. Not to his grandsons, not to his family, not to charity, to her. Why her? I don't know. We find out within this series. I think that this was The Inheritance Games was the very first series or even book that I read from Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I absolutely fell in love with her writing. I flew through these 3 books. I thought that they were incredible. Now, here's the thing. I don't think that the Inheritance Game series is technically complete. When I'm looking it up on Goodreads, Games Untold, which I have not read yet, is technically within the Inheritance Games like collection, but it's just a collection of like short stories, so I'm counting it as like I completed the series, but maybe some people might tell me otherwise. It's a YA, not like mystery, but like a lot of puzzles. Your brain is like really worked through when you're reading this series. I loved it. Like I said, I absolutely flew through it. I love Jennifer Lynn Barnes' writing. I am absolutely captivated by honestly all of her characters. I think that every character is so complex and has such a good background that they're interesting to read about no matter what. I also like that this one is following a continuous timeline. You watch as the characters grow, you watch as they age and what they go through and everything like that. So if you're looking for something like not as Criminal Minds, but something that's gonna like work your brain, you have to read the Inheritance Game series. I know a lot of people have already, but if you haven't, you've got to pick that up immediately. The next series that I want to talk about is the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. Honestly, I wish that I could experience these for the first time again. The world is absolutely captivating and magical and amazing. Like, I listened to a Spotify playlist while I was reading this, and it was literally like so magical. I couldn't even comprehend like how to explain that to you. That just, it was immaculate. Like, honestly, the whole thing was immaculate. This trilogy follows Scarlett and Donatella Dragna, and they are given the opportunity to change their lives in a game called Caraval, which Caraval is kind of like a circusy performance, like interactive experience kind of thing that happens, I believe it's once a year, hosted by Legend. And I'll leave it at that because I don't know how to really explain the rest of this without kind of giving it away. It starts with Caraval, then you read Legendary, and then you read Finale. Incredible books. I think that Legendary, although Caraval, obviously you can never be like the first in a series, Legendary was also incredible and I loved it. I think Legendary was my absolute favorite. If I had to rank them, it would go like Legendary, Caraval, and then Finale. But all around, like, it's just so amazing. You have to give that a shot. I've been begging my friends to finish Legendary and Finale because Caraval was also a book club read. We've been finding really good books like and series and stuff like that when we do our book club reads. So I have been put on not 1 but 2 so far in this conversation that we've been having. Really amazing book series that stuck with me and that I loved and I wish that I could experience for the first time again. While we're on Stephanie Garber, I heard that you were supposed to read the Caraval trilogy first because you're introduced to the character that I'm going to talk about in these next books. However, I didn't do that. I actually read these books first, and I had no idea that it was that order. So when I saw that character pop up in Caraval, like that trilogy, because I don't remember what book that character popped up in, I was shocked. So let's talk about one of my like OG favorites, and that is the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. That includes Once Upon a Broken Heart, The Ballad of Never After, and A Curse for True Love, which are all amazing, amazing, amazing books. Again, written by Stephanie Garber. It's been a really long time that I've read this, so I'm just gonna read what the synopsis is. But it's Evangeline Fox is believed in true love and happy endings until she learns that the love of her life will marry another. Desperate to stop the wedding and to heal her wounded heart, Evangeline strikes a deal with the charismatic but wicked Prince of Hearts. So we do meet the Prince of Hearts within the Caraval series, but oh my god, the journey that they go on together. Like, if I could read about these two for the rest of my life, I probably would. Jax, the Prince of Hearts, was like an OG love of mine. I think about him all the time. Love him, love this, wish that I could experience it for the first time again. When I got like really into reading, I picked up Shatter Me by Tara Maffey. I don't know how to say this author's name. I am so sorry. I really need to look up pronunciation. And I ate this up. I read it in the summertime, I remember, because I would sit outside and read, and I'm finishing a book and running upstairs to go get my other one, and then finishing that night. Like, I do read very quickly, so it was insane how quickly I went through the Shatter Me series, and we have to talk about it. So this is, again, like an OG favorite, just like Once Upon a Broken Heart and all these other ones that I have really been talking about. And it follows Juliet. She's a young woman imprisoned by a government called the Reestablishment. So she has something called a lethal touch, and when she touches somebody, it can result in instant death. So she's considered like a weapon, and this is her story. There is a lot that goes on in this book that I want to tell you so bad. Like, I just want to have like a full in-depth conversation about this book, but basically it's about Juliet and her lethal touch and how it affects life around her. There are a lot of books in this series. Let me actually open it up. So it's Shatter Me, Destroy Me, Unravel Me, Fracture Me, Ignite Me, Restore Me, Shadow Me, Defy Me, Reveal Me, Imagine Me, Believe Me. So what is that? Was it 11? And I don't have them in the correct order here. So book 1, I don't know where book 2 is. This has book 3 on the side, book 6. And then personally, the paper copies that I have multiple novellas in one. So this one has Destroy Me and Fracture Me in one, and the reading list is posted. You can check on Goodreads and it'll say book like 1.5 or 2.5 or whatever like that. I don't have that written down. This one is Find Me, which is Shadow Me and Reveal Me. So although my covers say something different, it's because it has these two books in them, which kind of is weird, but I couldn't find obviously the novellas anywhere else. But the covers of these books are absolutely just like so beautiful. I believe that my favorite book was actually Ignite Me. It's been a really long time since I read this, but Tara Maffey is is it Watch Me? There's a new book coming out which is called The Reestablishment #1, which takes place after the Shatter Me series. So I'm definitely gonna have to go back and read that before that comes out. Every time we go into Barnes & Noble and we pass Shatter Me, I beg my friends to pick it up and read it, because I just need to talk about Aaron Warner to anybody. Somebody needs to read about this character so that I can talk to them, because oh my god, Aaron Warner, I'll leave it at that. Getting away from like the YA or like the fantasy kind of novels here, let's pick up a dark romance series. For those of you who know me, they're shocked that I love it, because I don't read a lot of dark romance, although I do read it like here and there. I am not like a big dark romance person. However, I really like went all in by picking up the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas. These books, I think that this was like my introduction. I actually ended up reading Punk 57. Is it Punk 57? I think it's Punk 57, which is like somebody's cousin or other or something like that. And I kind of got like a hint into the story. So this wasn't my first book or book series by Penelope Douglas, but it was one of the first like insane ones. Like, this one really was like oh my god. It revolves around a group of friends. They call themselves the Four Horsemen. They kind of like run this town, and they have something called the Devil's Night, which here in New Jersey, I don't know if this is other states, we call it Mischief Night. It's the day before Halloween, or the night before Halloween, where everyone goes and kind of like just wreaks havoc. I don't know if that's like even just like a Jersey thing, or if it's like a around me kind of thing, but that is something that we do. What happens on this night leads to a lot of things that happen within this book series, and it's again not interconnected standalones as far as I know. Trying to think, but no, I don't believe so. And although like Corrupt is one couple, then you go to like Hideaway and you still are having to do with everybody from Corrupt. So it goes Corrupt, Hideaway, Conclave, which is a novella, Kill Switch, Nightfall, and then Fire Night. I have it in this order because I hold them the way I have them up on my bookshelf. I think it's wrong, whatever. Have to tell you, I loved Kill Switch. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion, but he's definitely my favorite. That's Damon. So we have Michael, which is in Corrupt, Hideaway, which is Kai, Kill Switch, which is Damon, and then Nightfall, which is Will Grayson. I believe it's Will Grayson. Loved. If you're a dark romance girly and you haven't read that, I'd be shocked and surprised. If you are not a dark romance girly or don't normally read that kind of stuff, like definitely check trigger warnings and everything with that, because that one is heavy. Like when I tell you heavy, like I'm not joking. Please read into that before you pick that up, or else I did not recommend it for you. I am a huge Anna Huang fan. If you don't know that already, I am currently reading the Kings of Sin series, waiting as they keep coming out, but one that really got me into reading, and one of the first series I believe that I read, because I can never remember when I read things, was the Twisted series by Anna Huang. I loved them. At least I loved them back then, and I can tell you my two favorites were Twisted Games and Twisted Lies. I didn't love Twisted Love, and I didn't love Twisted Hate. Like, if I had to rank them, I'd be like 1, a Twisted Games, 2, a Twisted Lies, 3, a Twisted Love, and 4, a Twisted Hate. I don't know what it was for me. Twisted Hate just didn't do it. It's a collection of interconnected books that follows 4 best friends from college. I forget all of their names. This is Ava and Alex. Then we have Reese and Bridget. Then we have Josh, who is Ava's brother, and Jules. And then we have Stella and Christian Harper. Love them. And now I'll give you a little like sneak peek. The characters from this series do show up in the Kings of Sin series like here and there, which is something that I absolutely love. So that's super interesting. I love when authors do that, or I love when in series like this where they're still mentioned and you still see little snippets of everybody. I think that that is so interesting. I know that Twisted Love isn't for everybody. A lot of people hate Twisted Love. Personally, I thought it was okay. I didn't love it, and now looking back on it and seeing like everything that I've read since then, I definitely wouldn't put it like at a top of my list at all, or really close to it, but the other ones were really great, and it introduced me to Anna Huang, which was amazing. So I was really happy to have read it, especially reading it so long ago when it was like super popular on Book Talk. So I do still recommend those books. I think that you should read these before you read the Kings of Sin series, but that's like my personal opinion. Does that hold anything? No. That's just me. So the next book series that I wanted to talk about was actually the Off-Campus series, which is a book series that got me into hockey in general, because I was reading it and my boyfriend one day was like, "You're reading a hockey book?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Okay, you want to like try and go to like a Devils game?" And I was like, sure. Like, I'm reading about it, and now I'm like a fan. So thank you to the Off-Campus series. Thank you, Al Kennedy, for getting me into like actually liking a sport, because it's great and it's life-changing. I'm not going to be holding up these books because I'm not messing up my whole shelf here. This is my Off-Campus / Al Kennedy series, because I also have Briar U right here, just these 4. The OG of Off-Campus, the new ones of Off-Campus, and then the special edition of Off-Campus. So it's college hockey players. It's like their whole friend groups. It's Garrett, Logan, Dean, and then Tucker, the women that they fall in love with throughout their college career, their college life. It's very interesting. It's the deal, the mistake, the score, the goal, and then the legacy, right? The goal. That one sounds like, I feel like I remember it being a different, each couple has like their own story, obviously, within any other romance book, but obviously they are still connected, so you do see snippets of each character. Personally, my favorite is the deal. I'm a Garrett Graham girly forever and ever and ever. If anybody has not read this series yet, just so you know, it is becoming a TV show, which I am having a lot of mixed emotions on. Personally, as a lover of the Off-Campus series, I'm a little bit scared on what's going to happen with this, because I do get scared of adaptations from books to movies or books to TV shows, so we will see how it goes. But I am really hoping for the best. I will definitely watch it, but it's gonna be very interesting. I am glad that it's gonna be a TV show and not a movie, because I personally feel like you can't pack everything into a movie as you can a TV show. Like, I feel like there's a lot more room there to really expand upon the story and really be in depth and follow the book. You know what I mean? I hope you know what I mean. The last book series that I wanted to talk about, actually, and I'm only gonna pick up the first one, is the After series by Anaton. This book follows sweet little Tessa, and she goes away to college and she meets Hardin Scott. The books are After We Collided, After We Fell, Before, and then After Ever Happy. I read these books on Wattpad when it was a Harry Styles fanfiction, so when it came out to be like a actual book and things changed, I was astonished. I was excited. I was happy. I loved it. Amazing. Mwah, chef's kiss. This is my guilty pleasure book. This is my guilty pleasure series. I don't care. I will not listen to the slander of these books. I get it. It's a toxic relationship. It's horrible. You should not look up to them. I get it, but the movies are great. The books are great, and I absolutely love it. It really was like something that I used to like sit in my room when I was like very early teenager and read and be like, oh my god, I gotta get to the next chapter. What is Hardin gonna do to her this time? Like, I needed to know. So I still read this book over and over again to this day. I love it. I will always go back to this book, and it's just amazing. I don't know how to even explain it to you. It's just one of my favorite books ever. So I've read a lot more series than that, and there are multiple reasons why they hadn't made the list, or I'm not talking about them right now with you, but we're gonna just leave it at the fact that these are my favorite series, and I love them, obviously, like I said earlier on, for multiple different reasons. I would never be able to rank them, but I just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about what my favorite book series are. Let me know if some of them are the same as you and what you do / don't love about them. I wanted to finish off this video by mentioning some of the book series that I'm in the middle of but loving, because I read multiple series at a time. Like, I'm not physically reading the books at the same time, but I'm in the middle of them. So I am currently in the middle of Throne of Glass. If you don't know that, I am on Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. I'm doing the tandem read. That is a very long book series by Sarah J Maas. I am also in the middle of the Like Us series. I am on book number 5, which is Sinful Like Us, out of, I think it's 13. That's by Krista and Becca Ritchie, and it follows the Addicted Calloway sisters. It follows all of their kids, which is really cool. And I'm really, really excited for Burn Bright, which is Cobalt Empire number 1, because the Like Us series is finished. I just haven't finished it. Cobalt Empire Burn Bright comes out, I believe it's September something of this year, and it follows the Cobalt children, which are Rose and Connor's kids, so I'm super excited for that. Like Us is like the older kids. It's Maximoff, Jane, and I haven't gotten anybody else's books, but I feel like it's Daisy and Bryce's oldest daughter, and then I think also Luna, which is Lily and Lo's daughter. I am also in the middle of the Windy City series. I'm waiting on the last book to come out, which is Rewind It Back. Playing for Keeps, I'm also in the middle of. I have to read the most recent release, which is Fall With Me, and then I'm also waiting for Breathe With Me, which will be the 5th and final book in the series to come out, so it's technically not done yet. Boys of Toman, we all know, is an ongoing series. I have not read Taming 7 yet. I'm scared to read Gibbs's book, but we will get to it eventually. And then the Kings of Sin series, I'm waiting on the rest of the books to come out. There are going to be 7 in total. So far, only 4 are released, and I have read all 4, so I'm waiting for King of Envy to come out, which comes out, I believe, in a couple of months. I'm super, super excited. I am a big series girl, like I said before. I love to be able to follow a couple or follow a friend group or really like study the characters, so I wanted to just discuss all of my favorite books. So that brings this video to an end. Let me know, like I said before, some of your favorite series, if any of them are the same, if you like the series that are my favorites. If you don't, what are your reasons for both? Like, come on, let's have a conversation in the comment section, please. I would love to talk to somebody. Please talk to me about Aaron Warner. I'm begging you, because my friends haven't read it yet and I'm dying. Okay? Alright. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all next time. Bye!